Sometimes life gives us nothing. No money, no opportunities, no support. But if we still have courage, discipline, and a never-give-up spirit, that's enough to change everything. Today's story is about a poor boy who had nothing, not even shoes on his feet. Yet he dared to dream big. What he achieved later will remind you that the only real poverty is giving up too soon. So watch till the end, because the turning point in this boy's life will give you goosebumps. Once upon a time, in a small dusty village, there lived a boy named Arav. He was around 12, thin and barefoot, wearing torn clothes, but carrying a spark in his eyes that no one could ignore. Every morning, he would walk miles to sell newspapers before school. The streets were silent, except for the sound of his footsteps and the rustle of paper in his arms. His mother worked as a maid. His father had fallen sick years ago. The family's only dream was simple: to have 2 meals a day. But Arav, he dreamed bigger. He wanted to study, to do something great, to lift his family out of the darkness they were trapped in. Still, the world wasn't kind. At school, some children laughed at his old uniform. Teachers often told him, "Arav, focus on surviving first. Big dreams are for rich people." Softly, but deep down, Arav knew poverty could control his pocket, not his mind. One evening, as he was selling newspapers near the bus stand, he saw a man step out of a shining car. Well-dressed, confident, smiling. The man bought a paper and said kindly, "You're a hard-working boy. Keep doing this. One day, life will reward you." Those words stuck in Arav's heart like fire. That night, as he looked up at the stars, he whispered to himself, "I don't know how, but one day I'll be that man who gives hope to others." Days turned into months, months into years. Arav studied under streetlights, borrowed books, and worked part-time to support his family. Sometimes he fell asleep hungry. Sometimes he cried silently, wondering if it was all worth it. But every time he wanted to give up, he remembered that stranger's voice. Life will reward you. Then came the day that changed everything. A scholarship exam, one chance in 1,000, announced by a nearby city school. It promised free education for students from poor backgrounds. Arav applied. He walked miles to the exam center, tired, sweating, carrying just a pencil and a dream. The exam was tough. Questions danced before his eyes. His stomach growled with hunger. But he didn't stop writing. He wrote with his heart, not for marks, but for his future. Weeks passed. No news. People laughed. Do you really think a poor boy can get that scholarship? Then one morning, while selling newspapers, Arav saw a headline that made his hands tremble. It read, "Local boy wins national scholarship." His own picture was printed below. Tears rolled down his face, not of sadness, but of victory. That day, the same villagers who once mocked him gathered around, clapping and cheering. Years went by. Arav studied hard, earned a degree, and built a company that later employed hundreds of people, including those who once laughed at him. When reporters asked him, What was your secret? He smiled and said, I just never stopped trying. Success doesn't need wealth, it needs willpower. And you know what's most beautiful? The first person he hired as his assistant was that old newspaper vendor who once gave him a chance to sell papers in his stall. Life doesn't test your strength once. It tests it again and again until you prove you truly want what you're chasing. Arav's story teaches us this. You can be poor in money, poor in resources, even poor in luck. But if you are rich in determination, you can rewrite your destiny. So whenever life knocks you down, remember, every great success story begins with someone who refused to give up. And maybe that someone is you.